Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are going to have a best of one today. This is going to be featuring a Sentinel Gaming competitive team member, and if you are not aware of the location of the website, it is simply at sentinelgaming.net. But we are going now to be heading into the game. And the Sentinel Gaming team member in the top right spawning position on Antiga Shipyard as our red Terran is going to be none other than Meditor. And in the bottom left spawning position on Antiga Shipyard, we are going to have our blue Zerg player, iGniTE. And both of these players are fairly high masters. I do believe iGniTE is not quite as high as Meditor. Meditor is in the top 10, I do believe, at the moment in his division, and iGniTE is somewhere floating, around 30 or so. Just a fairly standard masters player, but still very, very highly skilled. As if you are not aware, the Masters pool has actually now been cut to only the top 2% of players. It had kind of strayed off to more like the top 5%, but Blizzard actually just booted quite a substantial amount of people out. So what are we going to be looking for from these players? Well, more than likely, it is going to be a 1-max fast expand from Meditor. And I'm going to go ahead and make a fairly safe assumption that we are going to see a expansion first. And no, I am already incorrect. We do in fact see a 14 gas, and this does mean that we will probably see a spawning pool come down very shortly, yes. And he is going to go into some early Ling pressure. But luckily, we do actually see a 2 racks coming out of Meditor, so both of these players are opening up with quite aggressive styles. As you can see, 2 racks means that quite a lot of early bio pressure is going to be coming down. And iGniTE already has 3 guys in gas, so he will have speed pretty much the second that this pool pops. Do see him going out for an expansion now, so this is just going to be a pretty easy speedling expand. Just make sure that he has map presence and can really take care of any sort of early Hellion pressure. This drone is going to get found out though by the Marine. Poor drone will not be able to escape. If he would have mineral walked it at the beginning possibly, but hey, we do see Marines coming down, coming out of both racks, so this is going to be quite some early pressure. Would not be surprised to see Meditor attempt to possibly do some sort of bunker rush, and we do see actually iGniTE scouting for that. Typically when you see 2 racks like this, it is going to be a very large investment into pressure, and does not allow you to get out your expansion quite as quick, but as we can see, both expansions are going to finish up fairly early. We have Zerglings just streaming across the map. Speed about halfway done. And because he did not go for a quick expand, we are only going to see 1 queen. He did pull guys off of gases, and this is important to note. This means that he will not, in fact, be doing any sort of early baneling pressure or even having fast banelings available. No gas just yet out of our Terran player. More than likely going to see another queen coming out here. And these Marines are going to pick off quite a few Zerglings. Yes, 7 in fact, and that is no good. Actually 6, because the drone was picked off earlier. And Meditor actually loses 0 units total, so great engagement out there from Meditor. Always nice to start off on the right foot, and a quick 3rd CC. And we're going to have to see, is he going to make this a macro CC just to really get his 2 bases saturated along with some gases, or is he just going to instantly move it over here? I would more than likely assume he's just going to try and saturate, as he is aware, I believe, that more than likely the Zerg player at this point has to have at least one expansion up. If they didn't, the all-in would be hitting at any moment, and as he just killed so many Lings, it's pretty much impossible for a Zerg player to be going into any sort of all-in like that. Do you see more Lings just going across the map? Surprised he did not grab vision of this Zelnaga watchtower, but hey. Everyone is allowed a few mistakes. And triple gas coming out of Meditor. This is quite an interesting build. Typically, Terran will get their gas much earlier than this, but it does look like he's just going to start flooding in the gas now and really try and gear up for some sort of, more than likely, a bio medvac push. Third coming down for iGniTE, along with the Baneling Nest. eBay coming down out of Meditor, and this is slowly starting to symbolize that, in fact, we are going to see pretty much bio play. With the engineering bay coming down, you actually do not need it for the armory, as we can see here. Factory is the only requirement, which means that he will, yes, and as we see, +1 is on the way, so we go. Factory on the way as well. More than likely just going to try and pump out some Hellions. We shall see. And it looks like he's going to go in here, try and pick off this Overlord before it sees too much. You do not want to give away this factory, and with 3 Marines, he should be able to do so pretty handily. He did in fact miss this eBay, and he's actually not even going to be able to see anything farther in the base, and that is not good. Pretty much a useless sacrifice of the Overlord. Meditor a little bit ahead in the supply, which I find kind of surprising. Typically you will see the Zerg up in supply this early in the game, and for most of the game, 3 more racks being thrown down, as well as a starport. Stimpack on the way, as well as +1 melee attack for our Zerg player. It does look like, yes, there we go, he forgot to start Carapace. Probably just didn't have the resources available. We do see him droning up pretty heavily though, 7 coming out, and an armory on the way, so +2 can in fact start immediately. Just going to be getting single Hellions out. Infestation Pit on the way from our Zerg player. Infestors, very good against bio. You can pretty much just land if you get a couple key fungals, especially when they're coming up a ramp and the army is not pre-split or does not have vision of the high ground with something like medvacs per se. You can actually get your army fungled and banelings just roll right into them, and well, a lot of times that can be pretty much good game. We are going to see reactored medvacs. Siege tank on the way. Centrifugal hooks as well. This is going to allow the banelings to be much more effective. With stimmed bio out on the field, you have to have centrifugal hooks. It is absolutely necessary, or your banelings can just pretty much be cutted for oblivion with any sort of decent micro control out of the Terran player. And well, you don't want to just throw away tons of banelings. Macro hatch on the way as well. 2 more racks, and it does look like he is in fact going to go up to a ton of bio here. Finally floating this 3rd base over, as he feels it's probably the appropriate time. Would have liked to see an Overlord try to possibly creep spread block this, but take a look at the unit counting station. Not very far behind on the workers, and in fact with the mules he's actually slightly ahead. The only thing he is trailing in is gas, but this build does not really require a terrible amount of gas. He's pretty much got his enough for his upgrades and double medvacs, which he's actually not producing at the moment, which is no bueno. +2 on the way, as well as vehicle weapons level 1. And now 2-2 actually on the way, whereas the Zerg is only getting melee attacks, and he definitely has the resources, so not quite sure exactly what's going on. We do see Roachhorn coming out, and this is kind of a weird call, as he definitely knows now that there's 100% bioplay, so you don't need it for mech. He has already invested in the melee upgrades as well as banelings, and yeah, kind of a weird thing. But hey, might have something planned with it. Medvac drop of 8 Marines coming out, and it's actually unfortunately probably going to... No, these Zerglings just do stop short, but great Overlord spread so far. You would like to see an Overlord possibly here, but with this Zergling here, he's more than likely going to spot this. The question is, will he react in time? Great siege position. This siege tank is going to be nearly impossible to get to. Missile turret, just in case those burrowed roaches happen to try something. We do see infestors heading over here to pick off this medvac, and they do not, in fact, get it. Viking out here clearing overlords, just to make sure that this drop is going to, in fact, work. And Meditor quite ahead in supply. I do expect, with Hive on the way as well, that the Zerg player is going to just all of a sudden, well, go very Zerg on us and start flooding units. So we might want to pay attention to this supply. More than likely it will be increasing quite rapidly. It does look like all of the units were picked off over here by a large pack of Zerglings. And 2 spine crawlers in the main along with the spore crawlers, pretty much going to shut down any sort of drops unless you can get back here. But again, there's a spore and spine crawler. And now with the scan, he does see the Hive, as well as the infestors traveling up, and all of these Zerglings. So he does know that the drop is not going to work. His best option with so much bio is more than likely just to make a slow, direct push through clean up creep spread, as this is very important. You can be engaged so efficiently on creep, especially as a Terran player. You do not want that to happen. So always scan ahead, and always pre-split your army. That way you do not have to worry about any sort of surprise fungals from burrowed infestors, as well as things like baneling bombs, etc. You see what's going to be probably a pretty efficient trade here, and I'm surprised that he actually is not going to pick up this bio and maybe drop them on the other side down here. Yes, he is, in fact. A huge amount of bio coming out. 3-3 on the way as well. And double spire for the double spire upgrades. You gotta love that. Get out all that stuff, and you can actually start an upgrade while your greater spire's on the way, so you can basically be 1-2 and then 2-3 the entire way. Adrenal glands, best upgrade in my book for Zerg players. This is basically free extra DPS for Zerglings, and as we know, Zerglings are the main part of your composition as a Zerg player. Great little split now that Meditor here, and it does look like he's going to have to worry about an engagement or a possible even run by, but we do see quite a bit of bio coming out here, and if he hops up in this bunker, he should be more than okay. Yes, he does. Definitely needs to keep spreading out these units, making sure that all of these creep tumors are picked off. Excuse me, let me set myself to busy here. And we can see the Zerg player he probably will need to get out some more infestors. He's trying to kind of stall on 3 bases for that Broodlord tech. A secret expansion coming down in the bottom right, though, but it's going to be very hard to transfer drones this extremely long way over here, especially as well as things like queens. And Bio is going to try and pick this off. No, they are not, in fact, and he is just going to go for a Ling run by, but there is a ton of Bio here, stimming right up into the Zerglings, and great surround, but it already looks like they have done so much damage, it's going to be a little bit too late. And yes, now equal Bio to Zerglings. That is not a good position to be in as the Zerg player. Would still like to see Meditor pre-split his army just a little bit more. No, he probably has other things going on, but we do see Terran ship weapons, level 1 coming out as well. And oh my gosh, such a lucky scan. Just scanned for creep tumors and happened to get an infestor, and that is very unfortunate for our Zerg player. We do see 7 Broodlords out now, and Meditor does spot this, and so he knows, hey, I gotta get my siege tanks out of here. Does look like we're going to see double planetaries, though, forcing a choke, and he did in fact pick up on this. I'm not 100% sure how. He might have scanned and saw this. A little bit of an overstim here, but these Zerglings not really picking up on this as well, and he's going to really need to start pumping out some medvacs here. Would like to see him try and stim up underneath of this bio, and it or underneath of these Broodlords, and is he going to target fire them? Yes, Broodlords going down, falling very quickly. Great fungals coming out of our Zerg player, but these siege tanks are about to do so much damage. Yes, and the infestors are picked off, in fact, as well as all of the Broodlords sniped, and now these Vikings are not as, well, important. But there's still quite a bit of Zerg units out, and with Banelings, as we know, that splash damage can wipe out a bio army extremely quickly. Ultra Switch on the way, and that is such great play out of iGniTE here. He could really catch Meditor off guard with this Ultralisk switch. It's really hard as a Terran to kind of deal with this, but Thors do fare fairly well. As we see, he is pumping out quite a bit of Marauders as well, and does not get the lift on the supply depot, so a huge run by here all the way up into the main, but these siege tanks with such beautiful position, it does not matter. They are going to be able to splash the crap out of these Zerglings. And in fact, no, they actually do go down, so hopefully this bio will be able to clean it up for Meditor's sake, but we shall see. Ton of Zerglings still out, and it looks like we're going to actually go into Broodlord Ultralisk army, which, along with Infestors, makes a Terran player's nightmare complete. Meditor still ahead, though. Quite impeccable macro, but he does get helped out quite a bit by these Thors. They do cost quite a lot of supply, as we can see, 6 in fact, and the armory did get picked off, which means that he is no longer able to build Thors. With these Vikings out, Broodlords are going to get pretty much crushed, so wouldn't be surprised if our Zerg player iGniTE decides to pretty much just strictly stay on Ultralisk tech for now. Do not believe Chitinous plating has come out. No, in fact it has not, and that is a huge oversight. He actually needs to get +3 armor as well, but instead moves into the upgrades +1/1 for Flyer Carapace, and it does now look like we are going to see this gold base muled to death. And this is been a fairly large complaint by the pro community in large, just as far as when mules get onto gold minerals, it becomes quite imbalanced in the favor of Terran, and as we can see with the income, it's crazy. But a huge fungal, and I did hear some Baneling splashes coming off, but just not enough. He did have quite a little bit of a split, and along with these siege tank splash damage, but it does look like this counterattack has done quite a bit of damage, and now just going to be picking off some random structures, setting them ablaze, and the supply depots were lifted this time, but we do see our Terran player pushing up into the Zerg main force, and these Thors are just so beefy, even with no armor upgrades. Oh my god, great fungals coming down out of iGniTE. That is absolutely perfect, exactly how you want things to go if you are a Zerg player. And we do see that this army was cleaned up quite successfully. Small group of Vikings out and about. These siege tanks should be able to clean this up along with the bio, but we'll see. This one, oh my god, 5 hit points. One more shot from that Marauder, and it would have been game. Zerg player has established another base, but has not rallied the drones as well as anything else. And yes, he's not utilizing either of these bases, and so it does look like our Terran player is going to still be pretty much on same economic footing. Vikings being landed, and well, if you don't know this, they are terrible landed. It is sort of a last-ditch effort, if you will. Another stray Viking coming out over here. Workers being transferred. Would love to see maybe like this small clump of bio just be stemmed over here and really try to start putting on some economic harass all over the place. I'm not sure if Meditor is actually aware of this base. And wow, well, as I say that, he becomes aware. So more than likely we're going to see, yes, just a little bit of a force coming out over here, including this poor SCV, who does have +3 armor though. And this hatch is not going to be picked off. This bio will be cleaned up quite cost-effectively. And are these... No, these are just Zerglings, so just Zerglings for vision. I'm going to try and keep the high ground advantage here, just so he is aware. We do see another huge stim coming up into this base, going to try and take out these spine crawlers as well as the units. More than likely kill some drones off. Should see a burrow, yes. But the scan does go down. And another group of stimmed bio coming up over here, and we are going to see if the Zerg player has the multitasking to deal with this. Is he going to lose this base? Yes, just barely loses the base. Another huge ling run by. Is he going to lift the supply depots? He does try, but they do not get up, and now these poor little SCVs are going to have to fight. And the Broodlord army we saw was just way too slow in response. And as a Zerg player, if you lose a hatchery, don't forget to use your larva there. We do see another attack for bio coming up here, and actually a mule was dropped, which is kind of funny. That might have been an accident. There was no mech there to be repaired. Again, would like to see Meditor possibly split this up, but he is microing quite a few engagements. And we also see a small drop over here in the main, but that is going to be cleaned up quite effectively by this Corruptor Broodlord army. Some more bio coming up in here just to make sure that there is no sort of extra base shenanigans going down. SCV being transferred. This poor medvac has been left all alone. We do see another group of bio being sent over there, and they might even catch this small little drone transfer. No, it does not look like they're going to. In fact, they're going to have to deal with these couple Zerglings. And iGniTE, just making sure that there's no extra bases going down. It does look like we're going to see another medvac drop in the main. And can he do damage? There's just so much static defense here that he would have to basically stim around. But even then you're going to get caught by the Broodlords, and it's just really not a good position to be in. Another huge Zergling counterattack, and this base has been pretty much destroyed. As we can see, there's still a ton of minerals available here, and a double-pronged attack. And is he going to be able to take out these production facilities? The bank for Meditor is quite high, but as we see, the macro has been slipping quite substantially as there is just so much going on. He does snipe this base off, but is risking losing quite a bit in the main here. And we also see Zerglings moving up through the middle. Fungal going down on most of the Vikings as well. These Broodlords are going to fall quite quickly. But as well as these Vikings. Zergling's still doing a ton of damage in the main of Meditor, and that is no good. He needs to get something here to deal with them. And these bio units are actually just being trapped as they come out and not even able to do a single thing. He does need to utilize this group down here, and as we see the Broodlord sieging up the gold base from Meditor, Zerglings all over the place, and this is a swarm style that can become very effective late in the game. He does need to slowly take care of these units. Oh my god, awesome fungal coming down from our Zerg player. He does need to get these Vikings involved, or he's going to have a hell of a time dealing with these last three Broodlords. Both players trading units for units like crazy. Just constant aggression all over the map. And as we can see, more damage was done down here. These Vikings are going to be able to... Oh, great fungal coming down. And these Infested Terran's health, if you are not aware, with the most recent patch, has been nerfed, but we do see GG called. Well played from iGniTE. Just didn't have the bank to keep producing. Knew he was more than likely behind on supply at only 66. And yeah, so very exciting game. Tons of action. As I said, feel free to check out Sentinel Gaming at sentinelgaming.net, as well as please check me out. Leave any sort of comments or suggestions about the casting. You can find all of my links, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, when I happen to stream every once in a while, myself playing. And yeah, just let me know how you thought things went. If there's anything I can improve upon, I am a fairly new caster, so I would love some user feedback. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more games.